desktop on, mic on.
I do have something to say about that point though that you guys brought up.
Here we are. We live, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, the mic is not picking up on this one. Give me a second. Why you gotta be breaking my balls? Oh, come on. Interesting. Can you guys just look at the stream and see if audio's coming through on my end? I don't want to echo it.
Yeah.
Yo, just a sec.
So far, I'm hearing good on my end.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Sweet.
Sounds yeah.
Hopefully it's not too
We're just
soft.
muting on my end.
Yeah, okay. Media's not going off.
Quick question: is my mic good? Everything good?
Yeah, we're all good, man. We're all good.
Okay, good.
Okay. What I wanted to say though, to that point, that you guys don't quite think it's an arc, and he probably won't wrap it up that way, but it sounds like you guys think that whether or not he does that is dependent on how many chapters there are, essentially, in an arc.
What we kind of like to argue is like an arc needs to have an arc, like it needs to have a conclusion. I don't know if this is gonna have a conclusion or not. In the way that like Whole Cake didn't really have a conclusion, but it kind of did. Like he tried to wrap it up, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, with that being said, though, the way it ended in Whole Cake, you know, we see that plot line furthered now, and it's more than likely going to be around Wano. I don't see why he couldn't just do something like that with Reverie, but with the arc after Wano. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna like, you know, like is someone gonna be dead or not? Find out in 5 years. You know, it's not gonna be like that. But you know what I mean? I think that there's room to play with. I'll say.
Yeah, it's kind of like, how does he want to handle it? How does he want to do it? This whole thing with I'm is like, does he want that to be like the final villain that Luffy fights? I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think that can be answered until after, like, we figure out who that person is necessarily, and then I think we can get better speculation on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, speaking of mine, is there a way we could go into that? Actually, I did like a little research because from from One Piece, we could both agree, all of us agree, sorry, that Oda likes to use religious references.
Yeah.
Correct? Like the Noah's
Yep.
Ark, and those like powers which are based on I think Nordric god. I don't remember which one, but
Yeah.
Aim is a Nordric deity. Aim is a Nordric deity. Now, here's my question for you, Eric. I
Yeah.
know this is probably a far-fetched theory, because in human evolution, because if you look now again, this is
Okay.
just speculation. Is it possible for giants to go to normal human size?
Well, this is
Like
yeah.
years,
This is the thing with
like
giants.
thousands.
This is the thing with giants. We know that they vary in size, so they could be a human size-ish character. Doesn't necessarily have to be 1,000 feet tall.
But I thought there was like an SBS where what's that one vice admiral that Sabo fought in
Bastille.
I can't think of his name. Yeah, I thought there was something along the lines that Bastille was the smallest giant.
Yeah.
Technically.
This is a small giant.
It correctly. He's
Yeah.
a giant, but one of the smallest.
I don't know. He could be like Aimu or whatever you want to call him. Could be like old and small and shit. Like we know how people age in One Piece.
What's up,
What's
Silver?
going on, guys? What's going on, guys?
How's it going, man?
I'm alright. I was actually just looking for something to do, and then I saw
Here we are.
Hey,
We're just trying to
like,
figure out
sorry, go ahead.
the purpose of Aim or Aimu, as the official calls him. So.
I call him Emu just to mess with my friend King.
Definitely.
He's Australian. He's Australian, and we laugh.
Yeah, emus. Yeah.
But the purpose of them, to be honest, I don't even think we have enough to even like speculate a purpose.
Yeah. Well,
But
we
that's just me.
we were saying like this chair is bullshit. He's gonna be like the King of Kings. So we nailed that. It's just like it depends how Oda wants to do this. Is the answer? Because he could be the final villain, which I don't really like. He could be.
I don't either.
I like how he's kind of like the mastermind behind the whole thing. Could be interesting, but in the short
Yeah,
term,
the fact that he's.
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, the fact that he's like the head, like the absolute head of the world government is interesting to me, but as like the absolute final villain in the series, I'm not really seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's just the silhouette that we've seen of him, or the fact that he was introduced so so much later in the series.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm not sure why. It's just something that I'm not too keen on just yet. I mean, maybe later on if we get more information on him, I might warm up to it. But as of right now, I cannot see Eim or Eam, however you want to pronounce it. I can't see him as the final villain for Luffy.
I agree with that. Actually, would definitely agree with Silvers on this one. Because it seems too obvious then. It's
yeah,
like
it seems like it's
Oda
too,
doesn't like
it's
to
too
do obvious
cliche.
things though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Oda, like, Oda likes to surprise us.
Yeah.
He likes surprising us. And we could all agree on that part.
Definitely.
So I feel like if he does that, it's like, we'll probably be disappointed. It's like, okay, that's kind of like, yeah. I
But
saw that coming. But it's like, if he doesn't, it's like a whole 180. I'm like, whoa.
like don't we already assume that like Blackbeard's gonna be the final villain? So I mean like
Yeah.
there's and that's what a lot of people want. So there's really no surprise there.
I think the thing is that we have like established villains already, and we kind of don't want to like add in new people, because this is my theory on why people like get upset at like new things that happen in the story, because it like kind of ruins their established headcanon in a way.
Yeah.
So,
Now are these like just moderate viewers like of the manga, or like dedicated readers? Because I personally love like, because I'm assuming the plot's gonna last another like 10 years or so. So
Yeah.
like there's plenty of
Oh,
time
more
for
than that.
introduction and new established
yeah,
characters.
Yeah.
there is. It's just hard to like accept like a new like big boss when we know these characters that we've been with for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't,
No,
I
understandable.
wouldn't be mad if he is like the final villain. I just don't want some like bullshit, nonsense power for Luffy to like figure out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
some Kaguya level,
Yeah,
some
like
Kaguya level ass pulls.
dimension bending shit, which is kind of weird. It's kind of like if you have dimension wielding or like world ending power, why do you even need like a structure underneath you? Why can't you just do it yourself?
So for you guys, what do you, if he is the final villain, what do you see him like being able to utilize in a like, and also kind of foreshadowing or foreseeing where Luffy's power will be by that time to contrast?
I kind of
Um,
feel like the only way Luffy has like a good fight is if it's with like a brawler or like someone up close. If he's like this magic wizard character, it's kind of gonna be like, how does Luffy get close to him instead of like an actual physical fight, which is kind of weird.
Which could fit into like the Nordic reference of him being able to manipulate his size possibly
Yeah.
to kind of give.
As long as
Root
we
versus
don't
root.
get, as long as we don't get to god tier, like god level destruction, I will be okay with it. And if we do get to that, and if we do get to those types of abilities, I don't want it to be spammed, because I feel like that's one of the areas where Naruto failed in like its last arc. I was speaking with a lot of people on other servers. We were discussing like the downfall of Naruto and how it just became really anticlimactic by the last fight. Excuse me, and
Yeah.
it was basically due to the fact that everybody, well, not everyone, but the overuse of the god powers were just too much. It went from a great series where it took intelligence, strategy, and just all around thought to win a fight to where it ended up. Whereas all you need is to throw this nuke at somebody and hope it lands.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about
Yeah.
like,
As long-
the other parts of the chapter, like Bonnie and Kuma? How do you guys feel about that?
I think that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a
I-
good part. I like that part.
Yeah,
I
I,
thought
mean,
it was
seeing
amazing.
Kuma like just hit me real hard. I was like, no, dude, not like this. Not after
Yeah.
everything he's done.
Where do you guys see it like going? Like, how do you what's the resolve?
Personally, like it ruined my theory that I've had for a long time, especially when Bonnie was disguised as the queen of what was it, the Sorbet Kingdom?
Yeah, so bad.
Yeah,
so
Connie.
Yeah, and then Kuma was revealed to be the king, well, former king of that same kingdom. So it ruined my whole headcanon on where I thought Bonnie came from and her whole backstory. But where I think it could go, first off, I'm not even sure what the hell she's doing in Marijoa. If it's to rescue Kuma, whether it be her husband, her father, or her brother, I honestly just don't know. But where I think it could go, Kuma is definitely leaving Marijoa, whether it be with Bonnie or the Revolutionaries, one way or another. By the end of this arc, he is leaving.
Now, do you guys think that Connie is the actual queen, or this was just a disguise, or some sort of? Because go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's hard
Oh,
to.
I believe Connie is the queen.
It's hard to believe she
if
is.
I was the guard, if I was the guard, I don't recognize you. You're not we don't recognize you from the royals unless she recently got indicted into the world government, into the Reverie. But
Yeah.
Well,
It's
also
kind of,
too.
it's kind of hard to say because like the timeline would have to be explained and shit. Like, what's her relation to Kuma, and what does that mean? Because Christian went into like the definitions of what Oda threw out there, which is kind of
Yeah, well, I mean, I think she can, she can manipulate age, obviously. I don't know what it was in the Viz, but there was a moment when the guard does talk to Connie or
Yeah.
Bonnie, whatever, and he says, this is a paraphrase, but it's something along the lines of like, oh, you're the queen of the Sobra Kingdom or the Sorbet Kingdom, which could be read like you are, or you are as in like a question, to where he isn't really quite sure or hasn't seen her before. So I thought that was interesting. I'd have to take a look at the Viz to see like the official translation,
I'm
but
just looking at it now. Well, if it isn't the Sorbet Kingdom's queen, Dowager Connie, beyond this gate is a land of the gods you cannot pass. I'm afraid it's
Okay.
is in danger, yeah, of being here.
it's you are, yeah.
sounds very implied.
But-
yeah.
Here's another question, actually, if back to what Eric said, like, what would you, or whoever said, I don't remember, which one, like, how would you anticipate between a fight between Luffy and Aim? And I believe it's going to be a brawler fight. Sorry to jump
No, it's alright,
conversations left and right. I do believe it's going to be a brawler, and I believe the king, or Aim in general, I believe he is somehow related to the D, in my opinion.
Okay.
And
Okay.
also, the straw hat is his.
Yeah.
The straw
That's what I
hat is
believe.
his.
Yes, because think about it. What do you put in the vault? Going back to chapter 906, what do you put in the vault? Your precious treasure, or
Mhm.
money,
Yeah.
jewels, anything. I'm thinking about real world now. Now, you want to keep that safe so no one can get it, no one can touch it, whatever, or keep something secret. Now,
Mhm.
that's one of my
Yeah, it's
that's
it wouldn't fit in.
My
feels
theory,
like it.
but
my
it
theory
does
for
fit
the
what it
straw
is.
hat was, oh, my bad, Eric. Go ahead.
The thing with the straw hat's kind of like you gotta kind of bend your mind around what it means for like every theory that someone throws out there, because it's so like bizarre and strange that you like what
Mhm.
like I don't even know where to begin with this. So it's not like everyone's got like the right idea on what's going on, but I think the like most popular thing is like he's keeping it to remind him of what to look out for in the future. Something with like the family of D's and relics of the past, so they can eradicate what's.
Do you
gonna
guys
happen.
think that he's possibly immortal, or not immortal, but
Old?
I guess doesn't age?
I mean, he
It could
possibly could. He possibly could be the person, the last person, or perhaps the first person that the immortality surgery was performed on.
Could be. He could be
Now,
a
do you
part of the
guys
Ancient
think-
Kingdom as well. So.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Bonnie can manipulate other people's ages? I know this was like
Yeah.
a theory like a while
No.
ago.
Yeah, it was. It was shown in Sabaody.
yeah,
She
it's been
can
shown.
change. She can turn back the age, or fast forward someone's age. By
Yeah,
how much,
Ooh.
it's unclear.
but it's unpermanent, from what we've
Yeah.
seen. So.
But just to backtrack real quick, the straw hat that was in that vault, I actually don't think it was a physical straw hat itself. My whole theory on that, which if I made videos, I could actually take claim to it. But my whole theory on it is those pillars, or those, I guess you could say, chambers that Eam walked up to. They weren't. It wasn't actually a room per se, but they're basically akin to like the magic mirror in a lot of fairy tales. It's not something where you go, oh, magic mirror, who's the fairest queen of them all. It basically just shows what you want to see. And in Eam's case, who is the biggest threat to his rule, his power. And it doesn't it wouldn't show something like as specific as the person itself. It just showed the straw hat, which as he was walking up, we saw him holding Luffy's bounty poster, and now we know the second poster was Blackbeard. So he obviously knows that this straw hat, which belongs to Luffy, and Blackbeard has issues. Like Luffy and Blackbeard will have a conflict at some point. That conflict between those two is going to somehow affect any and everything that he's doing in his own little world, whether it be the world government overall or just his existence.
Right.
I like going back to Straw Hat. I think like in King of Lightning's video stream one time, he said like people assume like Straw Hat, like what can it mean, like it doesn't have powers. I don't think it's nothing. I think it's just a regular generical straw hat that it keeps. But I want to debate on Silver's on something, on that like the magical mirror idea. Then why would he need 7 of those?
That's the thing. That's one of the holes in the entire idea. I'm not sure if it's just 7, or if it's just one big thing that they just constructed around whatever is showing them these manifestations
Right.
or visions.
And also back to the Straw Hat, like necessarily like people say like, oh, like D's all have Straw Hat, which no, I shouldn't say that though. But every single D like that we know of, like Garp, Teach, Ace, and Law. I forgot his.
Mhm.
I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Apologies. But like what they all have in common with each other. Like, or Roger and all those, like, or what's that Marine Vice Admiral, or met on not Boa, Nico Robin. What was his name? I forgot the gentleman's
Oh,
name.
Saul Jaguar.
Yeah, Jaguar
Saul.
Saul, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, my question, like, please, like, I'm very new to the theory of One Piece, all that stuff. But can someone explain what are the connections between all the D's? Besides the death, like they smile before they die.
Well, the connection
They
that
have
we know of is they're
checkered
like
pass.
a part of the same his family, as it were, like a greater family from the past. That's kind of like the theory of like the people who fought the Ancient Kingdom and lost. This is pretty much.
Well, they also say that they have like it was I think between Sengoku and Trafalgar,
Yeah.
where he said that people with D always have checkered lives or something like that.
And they're the
There's always
natural
something
enemies
unusual
of
about
the
their
gods.
destiny.
which has been said a few times.
Mhm. Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Also, Eric, please tell Christian, Rayleigh deserves high tier.
Yeah, we know Rayleigh deserves high tier. You gotta mount your case in the comment section because he refuses to change it.
That's all I want to say. And by the way, I want to say great comics. By the way, enjoyed one of them. Fox.
Yeah,
I forgot
that's
to tell
mine.
Great comic. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
What's this about Rayleigh?
Christian refuses to talk about Rayleigh. I brought it up this week and he's like, we're gonna move on. So I don't know. Like we power scale. The kind of thing about the power scale is it's kind of like a joke because it's kind of shit, like shitty. It's a shitty thing to do. So I think this week was the illustration of how dumb it is. Like we tried to power Shirahoshi on the power scale, and then you see it just kind of fall apart. So
Yeah, that's.
The power scale's 100% watertight. All right, I'm not gonna have this.
So yeah, Shirahoshi mid tier.
But power scaling in One Piece is very, very difficult. Very difficult. Especially because like a lot of people in the community say matchups do matter. There are there are other factors to take in aside from just who can punch harder.
And we kind of invented this segment as kind of like a joke because like everyone else does it. So we're like, yeah, I guess we'll do it right. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if people disagree on like a lot of things. Rayleigh's the big like deal. But
Yeah.
I mean, every One Piece YouTuber eventually has to get into power scaling at one point or another.
One day.
Yeah,
I think we're on 50, 52 characters or something at the moment. It's 2 every week, so 26 times 2 is what?
Yeah.
52?
Am I the only one who can't hear Christian?
He's not mic'd. He can be mic'd if you want.
He's really far.
Oh.
So,
Oh no, he's in the Discord. Oh, okay.
He's in the
I think
Discord.
so. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead. So, another quick question, like, not a question, but now it's like, what do you guys think of the person that's holding Vivi's picture? What do you guys predict on that?
I think he's going to try and erase the family from history because they view them as traitors.
And the fact that not Vivi, but Cobra wants to bring up a topic that I'm pretty sure he's the reason that it's a no topic, and the way that and I've seen a lot of theories about the Reverie. Oh, if like they're like Cobra, they're gonna kill Cobra and Vivi's gonna become the new queen of Alabasta. If you want to erase a problem with the kingdom, you don't just take out the head person in that kingdom. You remove the entire family.
Yeah.
That's how you overthrow a kingdom. I think that's actually happened in like real world history. But
yeah,
But I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of
but
like
also,
One Piece, so either
that
like
can backfire too.
either like they're gonna
Sorry.
they're gonna attempt to kill her and fail, or they're gonna like throw her in jail because like they're not gonna kill her.
they're gonna my thing is they're gonna attempt to kill her, fail because Sabo's there.
Fail because Shanks
And-
is there.
Well, do you guys think
I
he's
was
still
on-
there, or you think he left?
I was on Dustin's stream. I believe it was the day before yesterday. No, I actually think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were talking about whether or not Shanks is still there. I do believe Shanks is still there, and by the time everything starts to gets hectic, Shanks will be on his way off of Mary Joie, and he'll turn, see the commotion and start making his way back, just out of pure curiosity. And when he sees what's going on with Vivi and possibly Shirahoshi, because Aim kind of tore up Shirahoshi's picture with Luffy and Blackbeard. So that could either mean he's going to leave her alone as well as Luffy and Blackbeard, which I don't think is a big possibility, or Shirahoshi is in danger as well.
I will
And
say
the
to
Fishman, Go ahead.
about Shanks turning around. It depends on what he went to go talk to the Gorsei about. Because if there was like a request sort of thing, I don't know about what. I don't think that matters. But if there was like a request that,
he requested to speak with them, I believe.
Yeah. He
right, but
requested
he wanted to
them.
talk about a pirate, which
yeah.
could, so that could imply many things. So I'm saying that if he does request something from them or some sort of help or what, I don't care, but like, that has to be taken into consideration when he goes back to, possibly save Vivi or Shirahoshi, and what that could mean depending on what he wants. So
But
I don't think they'll do it right now because he is there, though.
I think,
to even erase that possibility,
Shanks,
they just
all
wouldn't do it
Shanks
right
does in the story is stop things happening or tries to stop them, so...
now. Mm-hmm.
I
That's true,
imagine he'll
too.
try and stop the great war that will happen in the Reverie or whatever. He'll be like, stop. And maybe beat the
My
shit
question
out of
for-
Rob or something, so...
My question for you guys: beat the shit out of Rob Lucci. I would love to see that.
What do you guys
Yo,
think?
My
if
question
Rob
for you
Lucci-
guys is
Yeah, go on.
do you guys believe? Do you guys subscribe to the theory that at some point in this series Shanks has to die?
It's unfortunate, but I see it happening just because of, like, he's that character.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
could definitely see it. I could see it happening. I'm saying, like, do you 100% believe that Shanks has to die?
It's...
I don't think he has to
doesn't
die,
have to.
but it would create like a huge emotional impact that could further Luffy's character to like push him over the edge to accomplish what he needs to do. So that's all I really have to say for that.
I understand that.
For me, I'm not sure.
If like he will, if he dies, it'll be after Luffy meets him. If he dies before Luffy meets him, I'm gonna be bloody upset.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of people believe, that Luffy is not going to be able to meet back with Shanks, and he's going to
I don't
return the
think
Straw
that.
Hat to like a dead body.
No, I think
I
we'll
think
meet him
they'll
at least
definitely
once.
My thing,
I
my headcanon is that Shanks loses to Blackbeard. He's on death's door, and right as he's about to pull what he did on Whitebeard, that final blow to kill Shanks,
Well,
Luffy steps in.
this is
That's
what-
that's
this is-
my perfect
This
scenario.
is my scenario, right? Luffy's about to die, and Shanks saves him again for that final like tribute to Luffy. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
man.
Like
Ooh.
Luffy's in danger.
Well,
He's about to cop the final blow, and then Shanks like dives in front of him and like dies because of Luffy or whatever, and then I think that'll be more
I could-
impactful than like Shanks dying to Blackbeard for like no real
Off
reason.
screen.
Yeah.
I would subscribe to that more so than Shanks just going and like seeking a fight with Blackbeard, because if he doesn't take his own advice about what he said about Ace, then it kind of seems silly. And if he can do it and he's overconfident, then that would like do nothing for the story if he could actually just beat him right then and there. So I don't see him going to Blackbeard at all.
Yeah.
See, I see Blackbeard as the guy who would do anything to win. So I think
Absolutely.
he's gonna give Shanks in that fight, even if Shanks thinks he can win. Blackbeard's gonna pull some
Yeah,
bullshit.
like some Doc Q
That could- yeah.
and like Shiryu
Throw back
jumping
to the
or
scar.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just go over his side.
Another thing, like I actually agree part with what Eric said, like on how would I would see Shanks dying, but I want to see like a final crew fight, like Shanks' crew versus Blackbeard's crew
Oh,
entirely.
absolutely.
Because,
Oh yeah, I gotta see Ben
because
Beckman
here's
pop
another
off.
thing. Here's another thing. Usopp's father is in that crew as well.
I'll just
And if
throw one thing
Usopp's
out.
father dies as well.
When have you guys ever seen a legitimate battle that doesn't involve the Straw Hats? It never happens.
Never
So-
really.
So
Yeah.
if you want a
Is that in
legitimate
contrast to
battle,
what he was saying?
well, if you want a legitimate battle with like other characters in there, the Straw Hats kind of have to be involved. Otherwise, it kind of gets off-screened or like it's a little scuffle. Because if you think about it, Whitebeard versus
Well,
Akainu is like half a page in the manga.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah, but I mean, if it's
heartbreaking.
like the final war we're talking now, then
Yeah.
I mean that'd be you could definitely see it then. But yeah, I mean you're right
Yeah, like a-
about. I mean
like
we're
a
not gonna
big
get like a
battle
straight up
feud.
arc about their fight or something like that. No.
Oh, fights that didn't include the Straw Hats. Technically, they're Straw Hats now. Dressrosa, some of the Grand Fleet fights.
So yeah, some of the Grand Fleet fights, but again, they were like a page.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Psy and
Signed on
Loud
Kelly,
G thing.
Yeah, Loud G was a little bit longer. I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like when
want to,
people
also-
say like, "I want Shanks versus Blackbeard" or something, they expect like 3 chapters, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Wano, everyone's getting a fight.
Yeah, no worries. One is gonna be 400 chapters long.
Yeah.
Wano is going to last forever. One Piece is never ending.
I can't wait.
Wano is
I'm excited for
Wano is one of my most anticipated arcs, and it's not even based off of like, you know, like all of these over expectations. The only reason that I'm genuinely hyped for Wano is just to see Zoro do some crazy ish.
And just in the chat
Yeah.
for a second, guys are talking about what they think's gonna happen to Doflamingo. What do you reckon? Do you reckon he's gonna escape? He's gonna die?
Ooh. I wanted to bring
I'm
this
pretty
up.
sure he's gonna
Um,
escape like pretty soon.
I think
Yeah.
he'll escape.
Level
but
6
the-
though?
The theory that like there's an assassin coming for him, I would love it if it was Rob Lucci, because that would be such a good matchup, because it's kind of
yeah.
like
Luffy's
Lucci and
two
Luffy
greatest
are like,
fights.
yeah, Luffy and Lucci are similar in the sense that they're very confident and they don't give a shit who they're talking to. So to like throw that back into him with Doflamingo and Doflamingo's cocky attitude, and that would just create, I think, a really cool and interesting fight, because I don't see either of them forfeiting what they want until like someone dies, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty
Not
much.
that either of them would.
I
but
would love
I think
it.
that'd be cool.
I would love it for for it to be Rob Lucci, because okay, even though Hannibal is like the new warden of that prison, I think we can all agree that Magellan is essentially still running that prison.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even in Doflamingo's little speech about is there an assassin coming? Why did you put me in solitary? Are you protecting me? He name dropped Magellan specifically, and I think that if Doflamingo were to get out of that cell and Rob Lucci was to come to try and kill him, I think it'd be a 3-way battle between Rob Lucci, Doflamingo, and Magellan. Magellan trying to push back an intruder and return Doflamingo to his cell, whereas Doflamingo is trying to escape, and Rob Lucci just wants to kill Doflamingo. But
Speaking of CP0,
like,
who do you guys think that tall guy is, or like why we haven't got
probably new character.
The red mask
just
guy.
saving him?
oh yeah, the guy that they use for Heart of Gold,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a completely new character.
If it's a new character, it's kind of weird. It's just like just show we don't. Once the face mask is revealed, it's kind of like, all right, well, why'd you put
Oh,
a
yeah,
mask
it's-
on if
I don't think it's a new character, and I don't base anything
Yeah.
like off of their skill based off Heart of Gold, because obviously that's
Yeah.
filler.
Oh
But,
yeah,
like,
that's
I mean, he got
obviously.
shit on
I was
Heart of Gold, but
It's probably gonna be like some crazy character that no one thought about in like one spin-off chapter where no one was looking.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
probably like some vice admiral that we saw and we know about, but just didn't really care too much to pay attention to.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's
this,
actually Jabra this whole time.
I'm kind of confused as to why like Oda's constantly like shadowing out Im's face. It's kind of like he's a new character. Like you don't have to do it unless he's just trying to like build tension. I get it, but it's like, all right, are you gonna show us his face or not? Because
I'm trying to
I could
think
see
if
him
there was another
revealing,
character.
and they have a mask on,
yeah.
Yeah.
and so we get to see
Quick
what they look like, but we don't get to see their face.
Quick question though. If Rob Lucci is Marijoa and Doflamingo, do they happen at the exact same day? When they showed those two panels on chapter 907,
I think it's a day
Rob
apart.
Lucci appears, and 906 when Doflamingo. Does that happen on the exact same day?
Why do you think it's a day
That's my
apart?
question.
I think it
If it's-
says. Yeah, it might say. Because it's like.
Because, sorry, go ahead, Christian.
I'm gonna go find
The
it.
river is 7
So,
days, so there's travel time could allow it for them to meet.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah, of course. I was just wondering why exactly.
Okay, so if okay, then that will make sense if Rob Lucci
Wait.
will become the assassin. Because
Well, he
I
doesn't
think-
have to come right away either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Rob Lucci may be the assassin, but I do think that those were stated on the same day because remember they took Doflamingo away at the end of Dressrosa. It took Luffy and like his side of the crew to get from Dressrosa to Zoe. It took a week for that, and then
Yeah.
they were there another day and a half. And
Well, how close?
I believe
Impel Down close to Old Marine Fort.
supposed to be,
it's
but
on
it
the
is.
it's on the other side of the red line though.
Yeah, I know, but people
Yeah,
can get
so
down. We
that
know people
whole
can get
point
down
does
from
not
the
work.
red line now. We know how people travel. Like the government
Yeah.
can travel up and down the red line. So I don't think it's a big deal. It's
Yeah,
possible.
but I do think they
I'd like to see
I
like
do think that they took
the
place
two-
on the same day.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see like the two favorite villains meet. That'd be fun.
That'd be a terrifying fight that Oda better not
Yeah.
skip.
I mean,
To Christian
don't think
and
we'll be-
Eric. I
Sorry,
just wanted
go
to
ahead.
ask real quick. You guys were talking about Wano, and you know Kaido's gonna be there. It's his home base. What about there was a scene with him in like a snowy mountain area, right?
yeah.
Or are you
The
just saying
theory,
that that's a part of Wano?
The theory is that Wano is 4 islands that represent the 4 seasons of Japan, based on Japanese folklore. So
I would
Kaido's
love
on
that.
the Winter Island, and like the other factions on the other islands, so they can like split up forces.
Yeah, and it makes sense kind of
Okay.
structurally how the arc would work. You like kind of the Straw Hats gather troops on one island, and then they have to beat like the Calamity on one island to get to Kaido. Kind of structures out the whole.
Yeah.
arc.
That would be really cool. Calamity per island, and then Kaido on the final one. That'd be sweet.
Do you guys think that the island that X Drake fought Scotch on, do you think that's Wano?
Yeah.
Yeah, the snowy island. What would
The
be
snowy
the
island with like
area?
the raining icicles and like the dome city.
I think so. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it like is. I think it's pretty clear because they were yelling for Kaido, weren't they?
Oh no, I mean
Yeah.
like if you remember when the super like after
Yeah, I know.
after the Marineford War, when they showed all of the supernova in the New World, when the island that X Drake was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in that scene they were like screaming for Kaido after Drake did something.
Well, I mean.
Oh no,
to
that
show-
was after Dressrosa.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, to show- Kaido in the snowy setting, and then his forces.
Give me one
also
sec,
in-
guys. I'll be right back.
No worries, man.
In the snowy
Yeah.
setting, like that's just like they're connected. You can easily find a connection there between.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Mhm.
Yeah, alright. So the Mingo speech and Rob Lucci turning up is the same day.
Okay, so then it can't happen. Like
Yeah.
it,
Can't
to
or
stand up,
can?
it can't happen then. How can Rob Lucci be in 2 places at one time if it's the exact same day?
Well, Mingo might be making a prediction. You don't know if there's actually an assassin there yet.
That's true.
Well, even if there was, like I said, he doesn't
It could be one of the CPO members.
he doesn't have to
they're
go
all
right now. I mean, where's Doflamingo gonna go? Like he doesn't have to leave right
Nowhere,
now.
yeah. But isn't like Impel Down, Marine Ford, what was the other one? Aren't they all separate factions? Technically.
Yeah.
In what way? Like, what do you mean by that?
One's the judicial branch, one's the marine branch, all that type of
Yeah,
government stuff.
in that sense, yeah, they're separated.
But the CPO are directly working under the
Yeah.
world government, so they're the only one that can say
it's kind
you
of
could kill
clear
this
that the
person. and all that.
CP and the Navy kind of hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that
Well,
was telegraphed
just-
a little bit with Akainu talking to the Gorsei.
Yeah.
We saw that.
And I actually want to check something here. Come on, moment. CP0. Actually, I just want
He
to see
said
how many
that
members
they-
there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know.
Actually, we are missing. Yeah, we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 people in what we see on the panel here on page 12 on 907.
Yeah.
And there's supposed to be two gentlemen, which we don't know their name, in masks. One like has like a very dull expression. One has like a very sad expression. Don't know the names,
Yeah,
but yeah. So it could be like what Brandon said. Like it doesn't have to be Rob Lucci, but it could be one of the members of CP0 definitely, which I could definitely see.
I don't know. I feel like if you send like
excuse me.
CP0 after Doflamingo, you'd probably like send Rob Lucci just for like the fans.
Yeah.
But it would be cool if it was Rob Lucci though.
Oh, that'd be
hype.
that would be the most anticipated fight of the entire series. Rob Lucci versus Doflamingo. Come on now.
Off screen.
So what do you guys
another
think
quick
about?
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'll
What do you
save it
What do you
for
guys
next
think
time.
about like? What are they gonna talk about in the Reverie? Like, are they just gonna talk about Luffy or like other matters we don't know about? What do you guys think?
I'll say definitely the Revolution Army. I'll say definitely one of those. Those will probably be one of the big highlights.
Well, let's like make a list of like the meta theories and then exclude them and then try to go outside for what we think would happen. So I think we can already assume Luffy, revolutionaries, possibly warlords,
Emperors, I guess.
Teach.
I think we'd actually have to include the meta theories because they're basically like all of the theories are covering basically every single topic in the series. But outside the normal predictions, Luffy, Blackbeard, Big Mom and Kaido, the revolutionaries, the topic of the rocks or locks came up. They possibly could talk about that, maybe not directly because maybe they'll talk about certain events are happening in my country that are also happening over here, and we don't know what those events are until later on in the series.
Definitely.
So the rocks
Trade
could be
also,
a potential topic. The topic of the the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates could come up because Blackbeard took he defeated them, and Whitebeard was an essential part of maintaining peace in the New World to some extent. And I know it's been 2 years, but I don't think 2 years is enough to completely recover and adjust to a whole new hierarchy or like leaders.
This chapter, they said it's been crazy after that. So like,
Yeah.
time for a great cleanse.
To piggyback off of that about the Whitebeard pirates, I think if the world government or anyone even knew that Nekomamashi, the cat, right, Master Cat Viper,
Yeah.
if they even knew he was looking for Marco, that would raise like so many brows, I think, at the world government, like, and especially if they know Zo's affiliation with the Kozuki clan and the family of D, like that would be pretty serious if those two were like looking for each other, I think.
That's actually one of the things that really confused me when we saw Shanks speaking with the Gorosei. Shanks was a part of Gold Roger's crew who's a D, and the D clan and Roger found out about the Void Century. I'm pretty sure they know about that, and like the connection that Shanks has with Roger. Why would they allow Shanks to come into Mary Joie just to have a simple conversation and then just let him leave? Like that.
I think it's got to do with the balance, man. Because like they always talk about the balance, and like Shanks is a massive balancer in the world. He's always trying to make sure.
Yeah, it's like when a government takes its crime into consideration when balancing out power. Like what was his name? Al Capone. They actually worked his crime spree and like his organization into the market in Chicago when he was running everything.
I will say to counter Christian and Silver's point about the balance of power thing, they wanted to execute all the members of the Roger Pirates. So if they knew that he was a part of the Pirates when he was young, obviously he's no part of the balance of power at that point. So like if they've known this whole time, then they obviously kept him alive for some reason or another.
Yeah, because remember they did say that because of who you are and because of who you are, and maybe that wasn't just speaking on his status as an emperor. Maybe Shanks actually does have some type of connection. Not saying that he's a celestial dragon, because I do not believe that theory whatsoever.
Well,
But
here's the thing you don't take into account. Like, maybe the world government's just inept.
Just
Fucking
what?
Fucking bomb. Jesus Christ.
I did not hear what Christian said.
yeah,
Yeah,
can you say it again?
We live pretty close to an airport, so we just get bombed. Alright. So maybe just the world government's inept and they couldn't find Shanks because he's pretty hard to find.
Yeah,
no.
because if you read the
Ever since
Ace
he was a
novel,
Like a teenager
oh, go
though?
ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
if you read,
so it's
I mean, you
always been
don't-
that way.
you don't spend that much time on the ship of the King of the Pirates as an apprentice, by the way, and not pick up like some crucial things. Like how did Buggy manage to evade? How did Buggy manage to keep that information that he was on the cruise so like quiet for so
Like,
long?
put it this way, Crocus is just in the same place all the time. Like, he doesn't move.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just like take it from a real world example, right? So at the end of World War II, right, we all know that the US and the Russians took some of the smartest Nazis on their side. So
Yeah.
people are willing
Yeah.
to work with evil people, or like quote unquote evil people. So maybe they just left him alone because he's like, oh, he's not that much of a threat, and maybe we could work with him in the future to help us balance the pirates out.
It's because Kusha was
Could
talking
be.
about, like, not specifically, like, control over the world, but, like, keeping the pirates busy with the world government so no one's, like, looking at up top. It's the, like,
Right.
Yeah, I could
it's
see
like
it.
keep the world fighting so they can, like, so no one's paying attention to, like, them.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember when you guys were talking about that. I agree with that to a certain extent, because if you keep the masses fighting while you enjoy a life of luxury, eventually the masses will revolt, and eventually either they'll revolt and turn their attention towards the rich, or they'll kill each other out. And I do know like war equals profit. It keeps it keeps people fed, it keeps people with jobs, but at the same time eventually like nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to, like, that's why the Gorosei kind of exist to keep it running as long as possible, I think.
Yeah, that's why they want
Do
to
you
keep
think-
it balanced. Yeah.
Do you think that that's what the cleansing is? It's to eliminate the possibility of ending that whole
Yeah.
setup that they have.
It's like,
Yeah.
if the pirates are getting too strong, we need to cut them off a little bit. One
Yeah, we
side
need to
can't get
cut
too
off-
Strong,
yeah.
side can't get too weak. By the way, did you guys notice how, like, in the Reverie, where all the kings are sitting, it's a nice circle so Dragon can stand on top and deliver his speech?
Oh yeah, in the middle. When I first saw that, the first thing that jumped into my head was, imagine if Dragon just bursts in through the ceiling and a
Nice
gust of
center.
wind just surrounds that one little area, and he's standing in the middle of that circle on top of the world government logo.
Yeah.
I did want to say about the like the cleansing part that you guys were just talking about, just abolishing the system and going after the pirates, or they could do like a total control and pretty much go into other islands or kingdoms and seize
Here's the
power
thing.
that way.
I don't think the world government has that much power. You know what I mean? They don't have that many units to just like stand across the
Yeah,
world.
they can barely deal with one emperor, so it's kind of like they're kind of just spitting.
If you march in, if you march into like country after country one at a time, the remaining countries that have caught wind of what's going on, they're all gonna band together, and like the world government may be the world government may be the world government, but they're only the world government because they have the world at their back.
Yeah, they only have like the kingdoms.
You take away. Yeah, if you take away the kingdoms of the world government, all you have is the Marines, and judging by what a lot of the Marines' personalities, half of them aren't even going to be on your side. So
yeah, they're not gonna like people like Sharp and Kobe are gonna participate in a genocide.
No, I know. I'm not saying that I prescribe to this. I'm just saying that to follow that through that action, like throughout the storyline.
Yeah.
Here's a possibility, like for the Great Cleansing, they could try to obtain the weapons. Pluto, what is it? Uranus, and what was the other one? Neptune, thank you. Because we already know that Shiroshi is...
Poseidon?
Poseidon. So, like, in terms... I like going back to our first topic when we were like talking about Vivi like might be getting killed. I think Shiroshi could be, instead of getting killed, but getting captured by the world government and using her, like manifesting her power. Because if you have the Marines plus the Sea Kings, I think you just doubled your army plus.
And if
but no, that's a far-fetched idea though.
But depending on what Cobra wants to talk about, he could go along with like the weapons theory, they could possibly find out that Pluton is under the city or around that area to coincide with Shirahoshi.
That's one
that's buried in the sand somewhere.
That's one thing that I've always wanted to bring up with people. I don't think that Pluton is in Alabasta necessarily, because if you remember how Robin found out that Poseidon was in Fishman Island, she said that she read the poneglyph in Skypiea and found out that Poseidon resides in Fishman Island. I believe that the poneglyph that she read in Alabasta told her where the Pluton was in the world. I mean, not the Pluton. Wait, what? Yeah, the Pluton. And I think that she even brought that up in Water 7, that it led her to, like, it said that it was on Water 7. Not sure if it was still called Water 7 back then, but the plans for the Pluton was passed down from shipwright to shipwright, and it stayed on that island. It never left.
The thing about Pluton is I don't know if Frankie's gonna build it, because I don't know if the lesson in his flashback kind of fits.
Yeah, I know like the meta theory.
Like world-ending laser cannon ship.
Yeah, I know like the meta theory is that Frankie incorporated the Pluton into the Sunny's design because he's read the blueprints like multiple times. He's had them on him at all times.
Well, yeah, he's a master. He's a master shipwright. Like, we assume he knows the plans.
Oh no, we need to correct that. He's not a master shipwright. He's a godly shipwright.
He's a master. He's like a godly engineer. He's not even a shipwright.
He built a bridge. He built a bridge in Thriller Bark with like complete with molding the whole nine in like 5 seconds, and he said it. I wish I could have done more. Like what? That is a gorgeous bridge.
I do want to say about the silvers. You said that the poneglyphs were referencing other weapons that were in different locations. So you think that it was referencing Pluton from the poneglyph in Alabasta? Because I was basing my assumption off of the fact that Crocodile thought it was underneath the city, not that it was on the poneglyph.
Yeah, and I think that was just like a miscalculation by Crocodile, or you might even be able to just chalk that up to like it being really early in the series, which I don't like to use that example.
Robin fooled him because Crocodile thought there was like information about Pluton on the poneglyph, which there was.
There was.
So Robin fooled him, but I don't think the Pluton was never there. It was just information about Pluton.
Yeah, it was information about Pluton and where to find it.
Yeah.
I don't think that it was necessarily on in Alabasta somewhere.
Yeah.
My my theory for the Pluton is that the Noah is actually an unfinished Pluton.
The thing,
It's
like,
the
and Alabasta is one of the ancient kingdoms, so they could.
Yeah,
have
one of them that-
secrets,
yeah.
Well, also their tie with the, separating from the world government would explain, because you guys assume that the ancient weapons, like, they were made by the ancient kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
for them to be in possession with one of them would make sense.
I think that the ancient weapons were built as weapons of mass destruction, but once they realized how much destruction it could cause, they decided this is it was basically like chemical weapons for us in the real world. It's
Right.
Here's the thing though, like everyone assumed the Ancient Kingdom was the good guy. What if they were the bad guy?
yeah, that's
And-
that's
and, yeah.
something that I believe. Give me 1 second. I hate my family.
Alright, so we're gonna wrap it up in 5 minutes. I didn't want to stream it for an hour or so. Got things to do. So last comments, last questions. We'll wrap it up. So what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, okay, last, I think this one, a good one. Well, now, like, the Revolutionary Army preparing to, they're in Merigeois. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? What are you assuming their battle plans are?
We've always assumed that the Zabo and the rest are gonna like free slaves and dragons are gonna do his declaration, but we know how things go in One Piece. Nothing really goes to plan. So,
Yeah, I expect them not to want to fight because of how that would make them look to because their enemy isn't like the kingdoms, it's the celestial dragons. So
Yeah.
they're gonna try to avoid conflict at all costs, but like Eric said, things don't always go.
I wonder if
They're
Dragon
supposed
knows
to.
about Aim is gonna reveal that he exists. That might be interesting.
Dragon know about it there.
Because if Dragon's like there's an actual like king that sits on the throne, it might wake the kingdoms up, and the other celestial dragons as well. That won't like that either. So that might be like what's going on with Aim.
The whole purpose of the Reverie, I think, is going to be a whole bunch of kingdoms leaving the world government. Because a whole bunch of like dodgy shit's gonna go down, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Especially with Shirahoshi and Vivi. And they're like, "This is bullshit."
The world government's gonna get bamboozled, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're gonna lose a whole bunch of kingdoms, and they're gonna go ahead with the Great Cleansing, and then Luffy's gonna get involved somehow because his friends are in danger or something.
Right.
But we still need to go to Wano and do that. Like,
Yeah, well, it takes time to gather troops and shit.
I
Like,
guess Oda is setting up after what happens after Wano, which was like a big question mark that we had in Whole Cake Island. So yeah, things are starting to flesh out in the way in which he wants to handle after Wano. We'll probably get a very clear idea after Reverie is over. How long do you guys reckon we got left in the Reverie? How many chapters?
I say 5.
5?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm-
like
I'm
6 or 7.
Okay, I'm back. Can somebody catch me up real quick?
how many chapters left in the Reverie?
I'm sorry, say it again.
How many chapters are left in the Reverie?
How many chapters are left in the Reverie? I mean, the editor said that it was like 10 more chapters, but the editors have said a lot of things.
So double that, so like 20.
I'm gonna say 15, 20, maybe 25, and that's pushing it.
If it gets to
I would
20,
love
if
25,
it gets
honestly.
past 20, we're not getting to Wano this year.
Yeah, because like 25 chapters make up like half of the year, doesn't it?
More
No,
than
25
half of that.
chapters is actually the year.
The rest of the year.
There's about
Yeah.
it averages about 40 chapters a year, including breaks.
Yeah,
So there's not that many chapters
yeah.
left in the year if you think about it.
yeah.
You know what?
Oh,
You know
man.
what? Fuck Wano at this point. Let's just stay here.
No, don't say fuck Wano. I'm excited. Like
I'm
we've had.
excited, but this is way more exciting.
Oh yeah,
I
but
love the world building.
oh
Honestly,
yeah, One
I'm-
Piece is beautiful with world building.
Honestly, to my opinion, I'm keeping Wano I'm not hyping it up for myself because if I make it too hype, like it's too hype in my mind,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
gonna probably, if it's really bad,
Yeah.
it's like,
The entire
like, we
community
expected
is
so much,
like
but-
gonna be disappointed.
I don't
'cause they
have-
expect like so much.
I don't have many expectations for Wano. I'm only expecting Tashigi to be there, whether I'm hoping without Smoker, just to establish her as her own character. Because every time you bring up the topic, and I'm expecting Zoro to do something, like anything. Those are my only expectations for Wano.
Yeah.
It'd be
Like,
good to,
I know
it'd
a
be
lot
good
of
to see
people-
the crew back together as a whole again.
Oh man, we've not had the entire crew together since, dang, before like once they landed on Dressrosa. Because once they split up, that was it.
Yeah, well, we know half the roster's gonna be in Wano, so of all characters. So hopefully, things happen. Anyway, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta do shit. I gotta get to work. So
Oh yeah, it's
appreciate
like
you guys
11
coming
a.m.
out.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
We're probably gonna do this
Yeah,
same
likewise.
time every week. Thursday morning seems good because no one's spoiled, no one knows anything. We can talk about the chapter. We can talk about everything before people get spoiled. So I think this is a good time.
Oh wait, yeah, it is Thursday morning for you.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday night for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
But hey, man, thanks for having me.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Appreciate it.
Likewise. Yeah. Yeah.
It's always a chill time talking with you guys.